Hello, hello, and welcome to day 44. So, second day in a row with no sleep. That's how it goes. Sometimes this usually happens when there's a lot of energy shifting, and I feel like I'm in the, we joke about the end tail of the rattlesnake, but that's how it feels. There's so many things happening. It's very interesting, and my body is reacting in certain ways. So I'm noticing that I'm also going through the shedding, the detox, the purging still. So it's really the tail end. So that's exciting. So I work a lot with just following. So I notice the speed is picking up, and I'm noticing that I need to make decisions on certain things. And I noticed that my body would like to have more time and would like to feel into things more. But then there's another part of the body says that, well, that's not how it works anymore. So we're just going to go with the decision right now. So I know the decision already, but there's something about the timing and the speed that I am like, yeah, but if so the dragon year and the snake year, it's like we had a little bit more time. Things were going in a little bit slower pace, but that's what I feel is picking up. So I watch myself in situations where I'm already purging. So I'm noticing my lymphatic system is moving. I feel there's it's like deep in the throat when I swallow, like very, very deep. I can feel like there's a layer here. I notice also I look a little bit more pale today than I usually do. So I notice that the body is purging something. And as I mentioned the other day, that I feel good and bad at the same time. So I know my whole being knows that I'm fine. And there's this part of me that is almost like watching, observing the other parts. And it's like I'm watching something being born. It's like okay, now this happens. Okay, now this happens. I wonder what this is gonna. I wonder what's being born. It's like, who's being born? It's like, who do we have here? There's so many layers in the making, and there's so many things happening at the same time. And I'm pretty good at keeping a lot of things going at the same time with my awareness. I have this ability for split definition. But now it's like, yeah, there's just too many things. And then I can feel this collapse in letting go of control. So there's this, it's like the speed, that the body is going into a little bit of like hibernation, purging, shedding. And when that happens, there's this, it's like I can note, I watch myself go into that stage, and there's an extra layer to the fact that the body is a little bit vulnerable, that the energy is, I can't spend the energy to it's like to not control it, but to keep a track of everything. And there's a point here when I realize like, no, there's this like, I don't have to do that. It's not like, oh, I can't. It's not that. It's not a victim like, it's not that. It's like, maybe I didn't have to hold on to that. Like, that kind of feeling. So there's something speeding up and there's something letting go at the same time. So it's like, and I feel like there's something in my chest, and I feel a slight pressure around the sinuses. And now that I look myself in the mirror, I see that I can see that I'm going through something. So which is good. So I'm super happy about that, and things are moving forward, and it's just a little bit uncomfortably fast. But that's also when timelines are shifting fast. That's when, you make the decisions, and there's a lot of people in the healing space speaking to this, that you don't like. There's two aspects of the nervous system work. You have to do the nervous system work because the nervous system is what holds everything. But it's not about never being triggered. So there's this, I need to regulate my nervous system and heal my human that has been going through the ringer. And so all of that is real. And then at the same time, it's like I can't allow the nervous system to control everything. And that's where the contradiction with the body connection comes in, because we have to know when is it time to override and move and realize like we are 100% safe. And the timing is to move with this energy, even though a part of the human says it's going too fast. Can we just slow it down a little bit? And that's how a part of me feels. And that's the part that I'm purging. That's the like, oh, can't we just stay here where it's nice and comfortable? We don't have to challenge ourselves that much. And that's the part that is being I can feel it. It's like that kind of feeling is being purged. And then there's another, it's like 80% of me is very happy about jumping up on the fire horse and feeling a bit uncomfortable. And then there's the other 20% that says, but it actually hurts. It's like when you start to have a fever, when you go like, ooh, so I have a little bit of energy in the neck. So whenever I get a fever, I get this part. So this part is a bit tender right now. So I'm noticing that there's energy moving inside my system. And the fact that I was up almost the whole night with yesterday, I mean, you could see that I was tired. And then I usually sleep like a knockout the next day. And when I woke up I checked I woke up, I was like, there's something suspicious about this. It doesn't feel like morning. No. So I looked at the time and it was 2 a.m. And I'm like, darn it. Because I'm stepping into a deeper line of work at the moment with one of my coaches into a paradigm and field work. And that is the most exciting conversations that I've had in a long time. So liberating to have those kind of conversations. So I had that session at 6. So when you're you also know that the alarm is going to ring at 5:30. So the fact that that I'm not sleeping, that it's I can feel this shifts going on, and I'm feeling not really part of it's like I'm participating in the reality in layers. That's how it feels. Different parts of me are able to participate in different levels. So a very unexpected day, I have to say. So today we're going to talk about purpose. I wanted to talk about being purpose driven, and I wanted to talk about reality creation, and then it is the purpose driven reality creation, because as we're stepping into the multidimensional detox, we have to kind of build up and know, what are we detoxing from? Why are we detoxing at all? Because everything is fine when you make the plan and you have the New Year's resolution and like, I'm gonna fulfill all my dreams this year, and we're gonna do all the good stuff, and it's all hunky-dory until we get the first door slammed in the nose, and then it's not so fun anymore, and then we kind of have to remember why we're doing things. So it's also about because the fire horse is about directional energy, and that is why we have to talk about the purpose and the reality creation, because that's the active thing that we're doing. Because it's like we want to have an arrow. So we have the purpose, we know where we're going, and then the reality creation is to, it's like an arrow, you have to, and you want to be precise, and that's the energy that is being rewarded or promoted, or it's the energy current that is going to drive this year forward, has that energy. So it's very easy to, that is going to happen by itself. So if we want more of that, we just align with that and follow that rhythm, as we spoke about, like coming into the slowing down to speeding up. So if we are using this multidimensional detox that we're going to go through in layers, it's about choosing. It's like, what do I keep and what do I let go of? What do I keep? What do I let go of? What do I do more of? What do I stop doing? So that's it's like, it's very simple math. It's like I remove and I add, and the sum together is going to be the direction where I'm going, because all my choices are either going to take me towards my destination or away from my destination, or it has no effect at all. So that's like, and because we have been bringing in what is it that we really want, we brought in the 11 list. So today we're going to merge this and make sure we have to iterate, and we have to stop and look at, okay, is everything actually aligned here? Is my 11 list aligned with what my soul really wants to do? Is my purpose aligned with the soul? Is the 11 list aligned with the purpose? Is the purpose aligned with the 11 list? So we're doing 2 prompts today where we look at, okay, if we put these things together, how does it work? So we're going to do that in a bit, but first we're going to talk about this the purpose of why we are here, and that's what binds the soul and the human together, because the soul has the reason to live, it has the purpose of coming here, and then the human also needs to kind of align with that. To the human doesn't always, but most of the time the human is aligned with the soul purpose and actually think that that's fun. And that's where we brought in, what is it that I want to do? But the wanting can also be a little bit of child's play sometimes, where the child or the human, like, I want this, I really want this, and sometimes we can't have everything that we want. So it's this, the maturity of knowing when is something meant for us, and when do we have to let things go. And sometimes the things that we let go of, they happen to come back because they were meant for us. So the desire for the thing is real, but it just wasn't the correct timing yet. So sometimes we are so sure about something, and then we get very confused or frustrated if it's not happening for us. But then that could be the timing of things, because I'm a very firm believer of that we know what is meant for us and not, and that there's a knowing that certain things are going to be a certain way. It's almost, to me personally, that feels like a gravitation. It feels like 2 magnets are it's like I haven't experienced it yet, but on a soul level, on a it has to be a soul level when it's just can't, like, no, there's nothing else. This is the truth. This is why I've been so clear and with myself, saying that this is not the movie that I bought the ticket to. So that's the knowing, like, what's happening here? This is not, why is it like this? And then I notice that I'm gradually becoming this person that I know. And that was also one of the first conversation I had with the shaman that I spent like a year with. The first time I ever met her, she said, first thing she said, "You're not alone." And that was just, wow, that just knocked me out. So I started crying the first, oh, this is not alone. It was the first time who someone acknowledged the path that I was on, the struggles and the level of, I just felt like I was so far away from that person. And then the second thing she said was, you're going to notice that the person that you're looking for has been there all along. And I'm like, huh, okay, sounds good, but we'll see. And that's exactly how it felt. Like the person that was emerging from my being as I was allowing things to fall off, it was someone who I knew already. It was not a new person. It was the most clear and like truest part of me. So when we're stepping into this multidimensional detox, a lot of people can be afraid of letting go of things, like, who am I without these patterns and behaviors? And that can be scary sometimes, but that is when we need to remember, why are we doing this? And the driving force in the beginning can be that we want to overcome certain struggles in our lives, and that's completely, valid. But then at a point, then it's not so much about overcoming something. Then it's because when the struggles are gone, then because I had, my main things has been to overcome my struggles because I just can't stand it anymore. But then once on the other side, then it's a little bit like, okay, so now then what? Now what? What do I do now when I'm not struggling anymore? And then I realize how much fuel I have been using from the negative emotions that I've been feeling, like running away from something. So it's like, it's a very bit different thing. Am I moving towards something or away from something? So what we're talking about in the beginning of the healing is a lot of moving away from something. We want to move, we want to feel better, we want to argue less, we want to be healthier, we want to sleep better, we want to, all of these things. And that's completely fine. And then there's the other, okay, what now I want the fuel to go into my purpose, to what I really want to do. So it's not about what I don't want, it's more about what I want. So for some people, the purpose can be very clear very early on. For some people, it's not so clear. For me, it wasn't very clear. So now I'm just following my body day after day. And then now I'm having a purpose inside of the Phoenix Rising and the retreat center that I've built and the people that I worked with. But in the beginning, I didn't know that was, I didn't have any of those things in the beginning. No self-love, no purpose, no. I mean, I was really lost. I had to really find myself. So it took a little bit of time. But as we are getting ahead, the quicker we can even though we are feeling this, I want to overcome something or I want to leave something behind, the quicker we can go into actually looking at the purpose and looking at what is it that I want to create. Because as soon as we move into creation, we start to moving into life and life force and aligning with evolution, aligning with creation, aligning with God. As soon as we step into purpose and creation, that's what we are aligning with. And that's when the harmony inside the body is developing at a quicker pace, because the more we stay in what we don't want and the negativity and focusing on the story and all the bad things that is happening to me and why did this happen to me, and I mean, we have to go through this. If we have to go through that, we have to go through that. Nobody can tell anyone that they don't have to go through that, but we need to go through that to some extent to be validated in what we've been through. And thank you. I love your persistence. Yep, me too. Thank you for validating me in that. So where was I? Yes, so we need to be validated in what we've been through to some extent. Usually we need to be heard and witnessed, but then at some point we also need to let go of things and allow things to be in the past and not hold on to that anymore. And the quicker we can move into purpose driven and reality creation, we can still be in the old energies, but our focus, our mindset, and our approach is towards the future and what I want and what I'm creating, because that is the paradigm that you are creating for yourself. And that's why I'm so excited about this field work and the paradigm work, because it's all about the inner mastery and the inner energetics and the ability we have with our awareness to create and manifest the life and the future and the purpose that we are here to live and to create. And we don't need to know exactly what that is, but the body connection and through the everyday work, we start to understand and get to know ourselves, and then we can make the decisions in the everyday moment. And that is where life is lived, not in the fear or the holding on to the past, or not the fear or clinging on to what's trying to figure out what's happening in the future. It's about experiencing life to the fullest, holding it all, being able to manage it all and face it all. And then you can actually become the conductor. But to be the conductor, you have to, I mean, you look at an orchestra and the conductor, I mean, he knows exactly what we're doing. You know, he's the one who knows what we're doing and is guiding everyone into the rhythm of the masterpiece that is presented. And you are the conductor of the masterpiece that is your life. And the more the soul and the human are aligned, and the less fear and unprocessed stuff from the past that the human and the soul can kind of establish together, the more this conductor, the you know, they got, you know, when they flip the hair, yeah, flip that hair, conduct that orchestra and create. That's the point. Whatever you want in life, you have to go to the creation part. And that is what's difficult if we have a lot of unprocessed stuff and the nervous system is clogged with old belief systems and imprints that says that I can't do it because of this and this, and because of that, the world, and this and that, and this and that, and this. Then the conductor is being interrupted by negative thinking. So let's Let's bring it home for a little bit. Whatever you're doing, even if you're listening to this and you can't really write, you can still, you know, join in on the contemplation. So you can decide by yourself if you want to bring out your notebook for 2 prompts on this topic, or if you just want to contemplate and see what the body is bringing up in real time. I'm starting to have a little kit here with the things that I need. Oh, my color returned in my face. That's interesting, because I'm also feeling better as I'm talking. I felt crippity crap all day, and now I come here and it's like my body is in my purpose, I feel calm, I feel I'm enjoying it. I feel it's interesting, right? Even though two nights no sleep. Okay, so do whatever you can to return into your body. Doesn't have to be anything advanced. We want to learn how to return to the body in any state. So that is interesting if you're listening to this driving, if you're just sitting and watching me. Hello. If you're just listening, walking, exercising, whatever you're doing. I wonder how many is listening on double speed. Interesting. Anyway. So just move the awareness into the body. I just took a nice deep breath and I felt the whole central channel just releasing. Lately, it's been very easy for me to return to a state where I am feeling very safe in my chest. And that's where I've had a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear. And so it's just absolutely amazing to feel that level of freedom in my chest. And then I have way more going on in the belly. So my belly is blowing up at the moment. So there's something big moving. I feel like I'm blowing up like a balloon. Also, I spoke about that. I can really feel the tension in the arms, and yeah, it's very interesting. So just connect. Just allow the thoughts to slow down. Just be in this moment. Let go of the outside world. And let's bring in the different aspects that we've been speaking about. So if I say soul purpose, so what's just popping up when do you even feel like you have a soul purpose? Is that clear for you, or do you just feel like, yeah, that sounds nice, but not sure? And it doesn't really matter as long as you don't override what you know. What you don't know, you don't know. So you can't, that information is coming later. So what the soul wants, and then you can check in if does the human feel like it has a purpose? Are those two the same things? Doesn't have to. So none of this there's no like rebus or something. I don't know if that's a name in English. It's not a puzzle to solve, because there are multiple correct answers. Whatever you come up with is the correct answer. And then look at the manifesting objects that we've been talking about in this series, and the 11 list and the 3 list. All we want to do here is just to look at this and see if are the pieces kind of fitting together, or are they in wildly different directions? So the first prompt goes, or contemplation: my soul, my purpose, and my 11 list match by. My soul, my purpose, and my 11 list, they are matching through or matching by something. So let's find out what that is. (1:11) on my clock. So the point is to just see what are the touch points, to just look at those, because that's going to make things easier as we move through the multidimensional detox. You can finalize the sentence. You can let go of the contemplation or the flow writing and just come back to the main reality. If we look at reality creation, so the reality that we want to create is a mix of all the things that we've been talking about. It's like all the desires, all the purposes, and the wants and the needs of the human and the soul, they are like stacking each other, like on top of each other, and move together as one unit towards the future. Because when we are aligned with where we are going, we can start to calibrate the system and prepare it for the future. And that's what we're doing in the multidimensional detox. And that's what we're doing with these prompts. And that's what we're doing with the nervous system work that we're doing, or the somatic work that we're doing, or the belief system work. It's all about calibrating the human that is the present and the human that we are becoming at some point. We want to bridge these together. We want to bring them together as quick as possible Because as we open up, the more we align with what is truly ours, whatever that is. And that's why it doesn't have to be that you know exactly where you're going. You don't have to know that. You just have to be enough connected to the body to understand what the next step is. But the more we do know, the better it is. Because it's like we have an image inside of ourselves that we are working towards. And then we create this in every waking moment and also sleeping moments. But during the daytime, we are truly creating. And by nighttime, we're doing that also, but that's a different practice. So through every level, the level of awareness that we have in our everyday life is going to affect whether we are moving closer or further away to the thing to the reality we are creating. Because every decision has an impact. Everything we do has an impact. And that is where it sometimes can feel like we don't have so much power to create our future, but we really, really do. So it doesn't matter where we start. There's so much we can do because most of the work is done internally. So it's this calibration work and the choices every day to stay as close as the reality that we want to create. And this is where it will be different for everyone because everyone's life is different. Everyone's pace is different. Everyone's road is different. Because we don't know if the next thing that will bring us towards the creation is a challenge or an alignment. Because we have to get challenged if we want to change something. Because if we're stuck in a pattern, something has to break in order for us to start moving forward. That's why we know that if it's a lot of chaos, there's also going to be clarity. So it's rain and then sunshine. So if it's rain, okay, then we do rain first and then sunshine. So both are a good thing. And then we will, on the road, through our multidimensional detox, we're going to run into things and, oh, is it bringing me closer or further away? Okay, keep or let go or ignore. It's like there's not so many things we can do with them, but about being as true as possible to ourselves to really let go of the things that are not aligning with us anymore. And that's also, so there's a conversation that I've been wanting to have for a couple of days, but I've been skipping it every time because it's just not fun to talk about. But I realized, I just put it at the end of this one because it's relating to this one, and then it doesn't have to have its own topic, and then it's not so boring. So what I want to talk about is what did I call it? Oh, yeah. I call it weaponizing. And I don't have a better word for it because it's truly, I want to speak to what it is, but it doesn't sound very uplifting and it sounds a little bit drastic. And in some ways, that is true. I just remembered something, sorry. So that is what is driving us away. So we have our purpose, we have our creation that we want to create, and then we're going to run into things that is pulling us away from that. And that is something that we need to look at. And after we've established where we are going, then these types of patterns and behaviors are much easier to spot. So if you come back to the creation, come back to the purpose, and come back to the reality that you want to create. So just take a minute here and, if possible, visualize the reality that you want to create. It doesn't have to be in detail. You don't have to know the detail, but you can have a remembrance or a feeling or a subtlety that you just, yeah, I just want to feel like that. It's like, it can be a feeling that you never even had before, but you just know. It's like, you know what it feels like anyway. Or you know exactly, I want to. So I've been having a lot of visions about my future lately, about different spaces. And this morning it just happened so that like some unexpected things happened and I decided to say yes. And I came to this space and I was like, wow, this is the space that I've been seeing. Huh. Isn't this interesting? Some people know what, it's like you can have some of the information. You know who needs to be there, but you don't know where, or you only know that I want to live in this type of place. It's like, you know what you know. So don't focus on that you don't have all the information. Just bring in whatever you know and just allow yourself to go wild with that. Don't hold back. Like, really feel what you want to feel. And to the best of your ability, you start painting that picture. But really do it on an emotional level. Because it's the feeling that is the most important thing. Because the details might change, but the feeling is what's gonna also, that's when you know that this is right. So if you want, you can use a prompt or a contemplation. The future I am creating is. So the future I am creating is. You can start to finalize that sentence, or come back from your contemplation and anchor this in a little bit. And you can just virtually map it to the 11 list and just see if they are aligned, because you want to put them in alignment. The soul, the human purpose, the 11 lists, and the main thing that you want to manifest. They need to be in a straight line. Because now we're going to look at life from the lens of the multidimensional detox, and then we're going to keep, remove, wait, keep, remove, wait, like not enough info, not enough. There's a lot of situations that you feel like I don't have enough info. Okay, then we wait for information. But the yes we know, and the no that we know, it's time to start to making the choices and making the refinements, because that is what's ultimately going to make your arrow very pointy towards what you want. And the fire horse is going to help you. Something happened with my internet. The fire horse is going to help you to go faster towards that future, towards that manifestation, towards that energy, towards that feeling. So this is the chance. This is what we've been waiting for. So this is super interesting. But along the way, the things that is not helping us has a lot to do with other people and the interactions with other people and the intention of other people and the level of awareness of other people. Because people are transferring their view of the world and their emotional state and their nervous system state onto you. So when you are communicating something, the world is going to reflect that back, and people are going to bring back themselves from their level of state, wherever that is. And if they are either not supporting you or unaware of how their negative worldviews or experiences, how that affects you and your road to the purpose creation or the reality creation. And if this is not supporting you and you are keeping this around, this is a weaponizing energy towards you. And it doesn't mean, sometimes it's conscious and sometimes it's unconscious, but it's hurtful to the body. If we are not true, if we are not speaking from truth, if we are not honest, if we are projecting things on other people, if we are not taking accountability for our own negative projection, thought, words, action. Thoughts also has a negative imprint on the other person, and it affects their ability to stay the course towards their content creation, reality creation. So if we have people that is not supporting us around us, that is, even if they just think it and they don't act it out, our being are still going to feel unsupported. And when we feel unsupported, we are not, that is a negative, that is draining the body, because there's an awareness there that why isn't this, so there's something that we need to keep track of. If there's someone who's not supporting us, we have to keep track of that. So there's a part of our energetic setup that is going to be drained by paying attention to that, conscious or unconscious. So as we notice the intention and the energies from other people, then that is an invitation for us to look at that, and is this something that we want to keep or move on from? So the weaponizing is when we bring in shame, we bring in blame. It can be jealousy, it can be anger, it can be passive aggressive, it can be open aggressive, it can be all kinds of things. And this is the energy that we are going to notice that is becoming much, much more transparent. So people have been able to hide this behind a little bit of a robotic way of expressing. But nowadays, this is just not hidden anymore. So we're going to notice that people might put on a little bit of a front, but it's not backed up. And this is where we have to look at the thoughts, the energy, the expression, the things that are not said, and trust our intuition, and maybe ask some questions if that's happening. The words, pay attention to people's words. There's a lot of passive aggressiveness. There's a lot of energy hidden in sarcasm, in jokes. So it's like if it's almost as the energetics at the moment is not really supporting us. Let's say like this. If I would have a couple of people that wasn't 100% supporting me, if I had those in my, somewhat close proximity, before I could get away with that. It didn't cost me as much energy. Now it's like we can't afford that. It's like something has shifted into that. That's just, we don't have that surplus. We can't carry that anymore. And the more we can make those choices for ourselves with integrity and really take a look at, is this supporting me, or am I avoiding the difficult conversations? Am I avoiding speaking up for myself when I feel that I'm not supported? Am I allowing these energies to be around even though I don't have to? So there's many different levels of navigating this. It's not like I have to draw a line and then I have to stop with a megaphone and like, you can't come. It's not like that. There's many sophisticated ways we can move around without making big dramatic claims, or we don't, there's so many ways that you can move in alignment with who you are without having to get into conflict with everyone else. And those are the things that I support people a lot with in the one-on-one interactions, or in the mastermind, or in the private sessions, and really breaking down the different situations to see how are we going to maneuver this so it's as as in as much harmony and as peaceful as possible for everyone involved. Because if we are claiming that we are promoting peace and living in peace, then we also have to operate from peace. And that goes thought, words, action. And along the way, we notice that not all people are super open, super transparent, or super aligned. Not everyone is that. So that's a huge thing to look at, but it's so boring to talk about that people are like this, and this is just sad, but that's the way it is. And sometimes we just have to face that and take accountability for who did I invite into my space. And also just be very conscious, because if we are doing something towards someone else, we are ultimately hurting ourselves. So the damage that if we are snarky, or if we throw a dagger or gossip about someone or say something bad about someone, or venting or these things, it's like you can feel when it's not aligned, and we are doing damage to the other person. It is affecting their energetic field. That's why people are doing all these kind of projections and black magic things and that, because it actually affects people's energetic fields. But what happens is, if we are doing that to someone else, the person that is the most damaged is the person doing it. So we really also want to look at, am I living out of harmony with evolution? Am I hindering someone else's truth? Am I manipulating someone into something that is better for me instead of them? Is it fair? Is it transparent? Because if I'm not, then I'm creating stagnation inside of myself, because the body is not doing well when it lives out of harmony, when it's not living in truth. So it's both for the other person, but mostly for yourself. So it's about not looking at ourselves, because we're all doing these things in different shapes and forms. So again, there's no judgment. So the ability to look at oneself and be honest, like, wow, yeah, that wasn't. It's like wherever you make a mistake, you make amends, and you back on the horse and start again. And also, what do I need to clear with other people who have done that with me? So it's about having this clean energy that is going to affect you and your life and your choices massively. So the more honest and transparent we can be to ourselves, because that is where we are ultimately not honest. It's to ourselves. And when we become honest with ourselves, then the transparency is easy with others. So if there are things that we are not really want to look at, that is what's going to come forward in the speed and the fire of the horse year, because whatever we did not process in the snake, that it's like 1818 now. It's like we're going to start to run a marathon, and you have up until the end of the snake year. So the marathon starts when the horse year starts. So if you have little rocks or stones in your shoes, if you didn't remove those during the snake year, you're going to bring them into the marathon, the race that starts with the horse year, and that's going to affect you're going to notice. And then it's going to affect you it's going to be a different thing to stop and do that while everything is kind of moving faster, if that's an analogy. So this This multidimensional detox is perfect to start removing layers on different levels to become more and more aligned, because the fire horse energy is the directional energy with courage, speed, momentum, power. And the carrot is the freedom. And that is the purpose that you have, the feeling inside that you have an imagery connected to, or a feeling to, or a knowing to, or a remembrance to, or a vision, or whatever it is. The horse here can really take you there if you only bring what's aligned for you. So with that said, 1 hour and 1 minute and 1 second. This is interesting because I had the same energy as I had yesterday. And yesterday my body didn't want to do a big thing. And today it's just super easy, but I'm even more tired. So no clue, not linear. Okay, I got more comments here from Wim van Kempen. Thank you for your cheers. 108 days is impressive. Yes, it is. I'm also realizing that. The Hermit is saying, why aren't we having days off? Love that for you. Wow, you will sleep like a baby tonight. I hope so. That's the plan. Sunday tomorrow, I will be checking in. So the rhythm that I'm finding is that I'm checking in on Sundays and catching up on all the messages and stuff in the Telegram group. So that's that feels like the rhythm, because then that feels like good. It feels good for me. Super excited. If you are curious about the mastermind and want to talk to me about that, that's coming up. We have 4 spots taken. We have 4 spots left to invite 8 people into the mastermind. So let me know if you're curious about that. We're going to dive into all the deep conversations. There's going to be tons of mirroring. You can ask me questions. I can hone in on any type of situation that you're going through, and we can dissect the energies and the intentions, and we can start to really move your life forward. That's going to be super interesting. Also in the private sessions, if you have a specific situation that you want to dissect with me, then I can. You just give me as much information about the situation, and then when you share, I will receive a lot of information, and then we can start to really see we can unpack the truth and see what's going on. That's a lot of fun. You do that. Go get some soul lunch soul. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day, and happy Valentine's. Ciao, ciao, ciao.